Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with chapter number 7, Following the Mahatma, part 1. Here we will know about our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. The person whom we recognize as Bapu, father of the nation, and Mahatma is none other than the greatest human ever, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He went to South Africa to practice law after acquiring the degree of a barrister. The whites had established their supremacy over the black natives of South Africa. Compared to the whites, the Indians enjoyed very few rights. Gandhiji protested against this insult and injustice. He discovered the path of truth and non-violence to fight against the injustice, which he called the Satyagraha. So, Gandhiji discovered the path of truth and we fought against the injustice. The struggle for freedom initiated in South Africa under the leadership of Gandhiji. Indians suffered a lot during the struggle, but they never responded with violence. At the end, the struggle became successful and popular. So, under the leadership of Gandhiji, we responded with non-violence. And at the end, we got success. Now, in this things to know, we will know about Mahatma Gandhi. So, you can read it once. To protest against the racial discrimination, Gandhiji and other Indians established Natal Indian Congress in 1895. Can you recognize Gandhiji in this picture? The person standing in the center with the cap is Gandhiji himself. In this picture, you can see they are the founders of the Natal Indian Congress in South Africa in the year 1895. Okay, and here the meaning of discrimination means treating one person or group differently than others. After successful satyagraha in South Africa, Gandhiji returned to India in 1915 at the age of 46. Gandhiji had acquired international fame and respect due to his success in protesting against the racial discrimination in South Africa. He was given a grand welcome at the Apollo port of Mumbai. Gopal Krishna Gokhale advised Gandhiji to tour the whole of India in the first year to know the plight of Indians and understand what they needed. After touring the country for a year, Gandhiji established Satyagraha Ashram in Kochrab, that is in Ahmedabad, Gujarat on 25th May in 1915. After 2 years, he shifted to the Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad on the banks of the river Sabarmati. So, after returning from South Africa, Gandhiji he visited the India full country and then he shifted to Sabarmati Ashram. Your next satyagraha is Champaran Satyagraha in the year 1917. Champaran was a place in Bihar near Nepal in the foothills of the Himalaya. It was famous for plantation. The European landlords forced the farmers to produce indigo on 3:20 portion of their land and sell it at the lower rates to them. On the request of Rajkumar Shukla, Gandhiji decided to about the issue. But before the inquiry could start, he was given the order by the magistrate of Champaran to leave the district with immediate effect. Gandhiji ignored this notice. Gandhiji prepared a list of problems faced by the farmers and presented it before the British government. Gandhiji stayed in Motihari village of Champaran and protested against the injustice. Ultimately, the Champaran Satyagraha, which was also known as Indigo Satyagraha, captured the attention of people all over India. Indigo means it was a deep blue and violet plant which was used to make dye. Here you have to remember that for what this satyagraha was taken place and its year also, and those who were leaders which were participating in this satyagraha. Kheda Satyagraha in the year 1917 to 1918. Kheda district of Gujarat experienced famine in the year 1917. The agricultural production was destroyed. Still, the British government, instead of weighing the tax, tried to collect tax from farmers. Under the leadership of Gandhiji, the farmers started satyagraha against the Britishers. So the farmers were forced to pay fake, the taxes, and therefore the Gandhiji started satyagraha against the Britishers. Gandhiji told the farmers that they would not pay the tax until the government accepted their demands. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel quit his practice as a lawyer as a mark of protest and joined Gandhiji. Gandhiji wrote a letter to the collector that if the tax of poor farmers was weighed, then the richer farmers would pay the regular tax. So Gandhiji told that if the tax of poor farmers are weighed means removed, then only the richer farmers will pay the tax. And at the end, the collector passed an order for the same in 1918 and the movement was successful. The Kheda Satyagraha did not yield much result, but it became important because of the principles on the basis of which it was fought. The farmers became aware and fearless and courageous. So, because of that, Satyagraha, Kheda Satyagraha, the farmers they were aware and they were fearless and they became more courageous. The most important outcome was that the nation and the Gandhiji got a devoted and committed leader like Vallabhbhai Patel. Next is Rowlatt Act and Rowlatt Satyagraha in the year 1919. England was victorious in the World War First. At the same time, Rowlatt Act was implemented by the Britishers to control the public unrest and control the anti-colonial activities. The Rowlatt Act authorized the government to exercise stricter control on the press, arrest without warrant, and indefinite detention in jail without trial. The accused were denied the right to know the accusers and the evidence used in the trial against them. The act was a complete violation of the fundamental rights and freedom of expression and speech. Gandhiji protested against this act and it was also called as the Black Act. The Rowlatt Satyagraha was the first struggle of the entire nation against the Britishers. So it was the first struggle against the Britishers. But it was limited to the big cities only. Rallies were organized and strikes were called out to protest against this act throughout the country. The Britishers resorted to suppression to curb this movement. Suppression to curb this movement. Suppression to curb means to control or limit something. Okay, so this was the first act which was against the Britishers, and Gandhiji protested this, and it was also called as an Black Act. Next, your most important is Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1919. As a part of the protest against the Rowlatt Act, the people of Punjab announced a strike on 30th March and 6th April 1919. The condition of Amritsar was almost out of control, and looking at this, martial law was declared in Amritsar. A meeting was organized on 13th April, that was the day of Baisakhi, in the Jallianwala Bagh to pay tribute to martyrs and also to protest against the arrest of Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Kichlu. Approximately 10,000 people had gathered in this meeting. General Dyer blocked the only exit of the Bagh and ordered firing at the unarmed people gathered there. The firing started without any prior notice or warning. There was high walls around it so people could not escape the constant firing. It stopped only when the soldiers ran out ammunition. As per the official records, 379 died and 1200 people were injured, but in reality, the casualties were much more than mentioned in the official reports. Gandhiji completely lost his faith in the British sense of justice and fairness. So this is very important. Jallianwala Bagh, it was the act of killing a number of human beings with cruelty. Okay, and it was in Amritsar. Okay, and on uh, on 13th April, that was the day of Baisakhi. And see here the picture also. It is given here. People are pointing at the places where the bullets were fired and the marks left behind. So the walls of the Bagh were also too high so that the people cannot escape from there. Efforts were made to unite Hindus and Muslims during the Rolat Satyagraha. Gandhiji wanted that the Hindus and Muslims should stand united to attain justice. So Gandhiji made efforts to unite Hindus and Muslims to attain the justice. Next is Khilafat movement. After attaining victory in the World War I, the aligned nations signed a treaty with Turkey which was defeated. The terms and conditions of this treaty were strict and unjust to Turkey. The Sultan of Turkey was the religious head of Islam too. As per the treaty, his Khilafat post of Khalifa was to be terminated. Muslims all over the world, including India, launched protests in favor of the Khalifa. This movement in India was known as the Khilafat movement. The main leaders, you have to see that the main leaders of this movement were Ali brothers, that is Maulana Shaukat Ali and Maulana Muhammad Ali. Gandhiji decided to support the Khalifat movement and in turn to join the Muslim in protest against the Jallianwala Bagh. His intention was to demand Swaraj with a combined power of the Hindu and Muslim communities. So Gandhiji wanted to unite Hindus and Muslims, and so this Khilafat movement was there. Next is non-cooperation movement, which was in the year 1922. In his famous book Hind Swaraj, which was in the year 1909, Gandhiji said that the British rule could be established in India due to the cooperation of Indians, and it ran with their support only. If the Indians would withdraw their support and cooperation, the British rule would end within a year and Swaraj would be established. So, to establish the Swaraj, this non cooperation movement was there. Gandhiji started the non cooperation movement on the same line of thoughts. The two main features of the non cooperation movement were, you have to remember the main features of the non cooperation movement, the year, and the motive of the movement or the satyagraha. That is very important. The first was the complete boycott of the government jobs, legislative councils, government educational institutions, British titles of honor, foreign clothes and goods. The other creative aspect included the erectization of untouchability, communalism, and consumption of alcohol. He advocated the propagation of Swadeshi goods, khadi, and national education alongside. Gandhiji started the non cooperation movement by returning the title of Kesariya Hind. The movement picked up the momentum in 1921 to 1922. Students left the schools and colleges. Because of this movement, the students they left the schools and colleges, and many leaders like Nehru, Motilal Nehru, C. Rajagopalachari, and Asaf Ali left their advocacy. Most of the elected members of the legislative councils and local self government institutions resigned from their post. The foreign clothes were burnt across the nation, and the charkha, the spinning wheel, started taking its place in every home. These were all the effects of the non cooperation movement. Swadeshi was promoted everywhere. Many national educational institutions like Kashi Vidyapit, Bihar Vidyapit, Jamina Mila Islamia, Gujarat Vidyapit, etc. were established. Mahatma Gandhi was against a violent movement. A crowd of angry farmers of Gorakhpur district in Uttar Pradesh attacked Chauri Chaura police station in the year 1922. So this was also very important. You have to remember. And what happened in that, a crowd of angry farmers in the district of Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh, attacked Chauri Chaura police station in the year 1922 because the police had fired at the crowd, killing few and injuring many. The police station was set ablaze and 22 policemen were burned alive in this incident. Here you can see the picture on the next page. It is given also Chauri Chora, that is the site of the tragedy. Due to this act, non-cooperation movement immediately. After calling off the non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji focused on constructive activities in the remote rural areas. The social reforms propagated in the middle of the 20th century helped Gandhiji to earn more trust and faith of the people. Gandhiji's ideas started uniting the people from different walks of life. Other two major developments of this period are the establishment of the Indian Communist Party and the RSS. These are the two major developments which were established during that time. First was Indian Communist Party and the second was RSS, which is Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. These parties envisaged the future of the India in quite a different way, know about their social, political, economical views, and with that, Gandhiji further started the other movements. Next, you have Simon Commission, page number 58. The British government sent Simon Commission under the chairmanship of Sir Simon to investigate the process of the governance scheme introduced under the Government of India Act, which was in the year 1919, and suggest new steps for reform. This commission has to decide the political future of our country and still did not have a single representative from India. This made the people furious and insulted. All the political parties decided to boycott the Simon Commission. When the members of the commission reached India, they were welcomed with black flags and slogan that you can see in the picture also. The people they protested against the Simon Commission, and Simon go back as a mark of protest. Next is important Satyagraha, Bardoli Satyagraha in the year 1928. The British government increased the revenue in Bardoli region by 22%. They increased the revenue. Revenue means tax by 22%. When the farmers' request was not attended by the government, they decided to launch a satyagraha. I told you before also that you have to remember the name of the satyagraha or the movement, the year, and the motive. Okay, and next is they launched satyagraha. Vallabhbhai Patel accepted the leadership of this satyagraha. Ravi Shankar Maharaj and Jugatram Dave extended their support to the satyagraha. Fears, that means angry or aggressive. Fears means angry or aggressive, and encouraging speeches of Vallabhbhai Patel made the farmers fearless, and they denied paying revenue. Denied means refused to pay the tax. As a result, the British government called Vallabhbhai Patel to Pune. In the presence of other farmers, amount of revenue was settled justly. The success of the Bardoli Satyagraha earned Vallabhbhai Patel the title Sardar. After the Bardoli Satyagraha, he was titled as the Sardar. Sardar Patel played a significant role in the negotiations during 1945 to 47 for the freedom of India. He was among the prominent leaders of the freedom struggle from 1918 onwards and became the president of the Indian National Congress in 1931. This is very important. You have to remember that he became the president in the year 1931. Next is Nehru Report. Year is 1928. A conference having the representatives of all political parties of India meet in Delhi in February 1928. A committee was formed under the chairmanship of Motilal Nehru in order to frame our constitution. This committee prepared a draft of a constitution which would be acceptable to all the parties. It came to the known as Nehru Report. So this way it came to known as Nehru Report. The Muslim League did not accept it, and thus it was rejected by the British government. Next is Resolution of Complete Freedom in the year 1929. The time limit given to grant self-governance to India as per the Nehru Report got over. Indian National Congress convened a session at Lahore in December 1929 under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru. In this conference, a resolution for Purna Swaraj, that is complete independence. Purna Swaraj means complete independence, was passed, and the tricolor flag was unfurled on the banks of the river Ravi at midnight 31st December 1929 as a mark of the Purna Swaraj. Members took the oath of complete freedom on 26th January 1930. Hence, to commemorate this day, the Indian Constitution was enforced on 26th January 1950. Commemorate means to take place in order to make people remember. That is a special event. So, on this day, on 26 January 1930, our Indian Constitution was enforced.